Hey everybody, Tony D with another hot take. I was talking to somebody on Twitter, a fellow comic creator, who's very amped up about the whole Portland thing, right? So for those of you who don't know, again, Trump sent the federales into Portland to protect the courthouse, the federal courthouse there, and they're picking up Antifa guys in unmarked vans. They're wearing camos. They've got police written on them, but that's about the only identification. And I think they're out of the DHS, Department of Homeland Security. They're picking them up. They're taking them in. They're not really questioning them. Again, these guys could be confidential informants. They could be FBI agents themselves or undercover DHS. But we don't know. This could all be a big cover in order to debrief some certain people. Or it could just be the Fed saying, we can pick you up at any time, dummies. Any time. And you're gone. That could be possible too. But, you know, people are freaking out because like, oh God, it's kidnapping. It's not kidnapping. If you look at our laws, first off, you have to look at it this way. These people are dressed as Antifa. Antifa has been attacking the courthouse. So if you look like a suspect suspected of a crime, you get picked up by the cops. You can get detained for up to 48 hours. That's all legal. And the NDAA of 2011, passed under Obama, really expanded the scope of the terrorist hunt. And this all came out of the Bush administration. So these guys are clearly terrorists. They like to brag about their terrorism. They're certainly going to be declared terrorists if they haven't already in secret somehow. And they're screwed. They're screwed because the FBI's probably got them wired 17 different ways. They probably got, you know, during the peace movement, they had so many guys infiltrate the peace movement. It was like that scene in, I think it was in Detroit, where they had a group of undercover guys buying drugs and a group of undercover guys selling drugs, and they didn't know, and so they sold to each other, and then they tried to arrest each group. That's how bad it was during the peace movement. There was so many guys infiltrating the peace movement, it was ridiculous. Now, most of them didn't find anything because the peace movement was peaceful. So they had to try real hard to get people to do something crazy. They don't have to do that with Antifa. Antifa, they just have to show up and say, well, if you're going to throw M80s at people, why not just throw a hand grenade? And most likely these guys will go for it because they're stupid and they desperately want to fight, legit with guns and blow people up. They're crazy. They're out of their minds, the hardcore guys. Now there's a bunch of rank and files. They don't want to do that. You know, they're slowly being ramped up, but most of them will, you know, when you push them to the point like, oh, here's a knife. Why don't you go stab somebody? They'll go, whoa, I don't kill anybody. But you know, this is part of the conditioning process of the radicals. Like they have to slowly radicalize you. Like first you show up for the protest, hold the sign, you yell at people, and you got a bandana on because you have to wear one for the virus, but really it's about the tear gas and whatnot. And you scream at people and you say Black Lives Matter and blah blah blah. And then the next one maybe they suggest, well, if you show up in the Black Bloc uniform, we're going to do Black Bloc. We could always use some extra people. And then maybe you do that. You start showing up in black. And then, if you get pushed down by a cop or you get sprayed in the face by pepper spray, the other guys say, well, here's what you should carry in case of that. And maybe you ought to be carrying your own spray in case you get attacked. And pretty soon you're carrying weapons and you're part of the Black Bloc like these guys. And they all, just like any other criminal organization, they all say the same thing. We look out for our own, man. We got your back, man. No matter what, we're your family. Yeah. Except they're not. Except somebody's going to get pinched for a real crime. Whether that's assault, arson, Some of the guys have been picked up for really awful stuff. There's 2 Antifa guys who got picked up for, I can't say it on YouTube, but let's say doing bad things with kids. Yeah, it's that scary. So you got a guy on those charges, you own him. You own him, because not only is he going to go to jail, but he'll probably die there, and he'll do anything to keep from going to jail. So you offer him a deal. You say you go back into these Antifa clubs, you wear a wire, and you get us information on these guys and what they're going to do next. And that's how they get you. And all you have to do is be in the group. Then they get you on conspiracy. They get you on conspiracy. They get you on audio saying what you're going to do. You're screwed. You are screwed. You go down for conspiracy. Man, they'll round out hundreds of you. That's what they've done. That's what they did to the mafia. That's what they'll do to anybody. Any group like that, they round you all up. Hundreds of you all at once. And they take you down. And you all go to jail. And that now they know, well, we can't expect the local Portland, court system to throw these guys in jail. So we got to get federal charges. That's easy enough. You guys cross states all the time. You got guys from Washington and California coming to do this rioting. Instantly a federal crime. Instantly. You're attacking a federal courthouse. Federal crime. They're going to put you guys away in federal prison. Now, I had one guy in my comment section said federal prison actually isn't too bad. It's actually better than regular prison. I think, though, for the Antifa guys, any kind of prison, they're not going to be able to handle it. I mean, you go from living in your parents' basement right to prison. Oof, that's going to be tough. You go from sitting around in your communist bookstore talking about how woke you are and how you're going to save everybody from the bad guys in Germany, and you go right to prison where you actually meet some of the descendants of the bad guys from Germany. Yeah. Good luck. Good luck telling them your woke ideas, dummies. So, this idea that Trump has got a secret police. The federales are not secret. They don't have to wear a uniform. You see FBI's, the FBI guys wear suits. Yeah, and when they got to send in guys with guns, they gear up. So they got camo, they got bulletproof vests, they got guns and helmets. I mean, they're in a riot zone, baby. You got to be safe. They still had police written on their jackets. Those guys were probably DHS. I think the FBI would have had FBI written on them. Those guys are probably DHS. They probably got their own undercover guys because it's probably a total redundant law enforcement agency. It's probably just like the FBI. It's probably what the FBI should have been. The FBI should only operate within the confines of the United States. So, and as I said in the previous video, they could be picking up their own guys to debrief them. They could be picking up their CIs to protect them. They pick up a handful of other Antifa guys because they can. It's totally legal. You guys are the suspects. You all look the same. They can pick any one of you up. Did you think this was going to be a game you could win? This is not a game you can possibly win. Not like this. You think your allies in Portland, in the Portland court system, can help you? How do they compare to the guys in Washington, D.C.? They have to answer to the federal government at some point. You want to burn down the city of Portland? Okay, I guess they might front you to allow you to do that, but then what? What are you going to do if you actually capture the city of Portland other than watch it disintegrate? How are you going to keep the sewers running and the water running and the electricity running when every major company that services them refuses to come into the city because it's unsafe? What are you going to do then, dummies? We'll get some Antifa guys who know something about electricity. They'll be able to jury rig something. Yeah, that'll go well. You're screwed. You did this all the wrong way. You embraced violence. It's easy to infiltrate you. You have no hierarchy worth mentioning, and you do everything on Facebook and the internet. They've got you. The only question is when they're going to arrest you. I would say October. October surprise. They round you all up, trot you in front of the cameras, federal charges, doot doot. Hundreds of you are going away in October. My advice is still the same. Delete your profiles. Abandon Antifa. Burn your hoodie. Get rid of all your Antifa stuff. Pretend like you never joined. And don't ever go back to their meetings. Get out of Seattle. Get out of Portland. Get out of anywhere that has Antifa and go live in the sticks for a few years. Wait for this all to blow over. Because then maybe they won't bother to come after you because they'll look at the list of people and go, well, where's this guy? Oh, he's all the way out in the woods. We don't have to pick him up. He's out of the loop. Who knows what he's doing? Who cares? That's your only chance of getting out from under this because they're already accumulating the evidence against you right now. They already got guys watching you right now. They have guys watching the peace movement all day long. You don't think they have the money and resources to watch you? You're doing actual damage. You're doing actual things that's pissed off the federal government. They're coming, and you're going to jail.